Yeah, and that's a question I get a lot. Is what is your chef? What role do they play into the business? And you know, on a higher-end restaurant such as Jackson, they play everything. You know, very chef-driven restaurant. You know, when you're doing the Fish House, where you're doing a higher volume, the chef is not as much as what kind of food you're serving. Seafood. People are coming for seafood. They're not asking the chef. You know, we're getting, like I said, 1,000 people a night. Jackson's, we might only have 100 people in. Those are more of the higher end people that want to know what the chef's preparing that night. They're checking it out, and you know, they're not coming just for the steaks. They're looking for the creations versus you know, the Fish House, where we do a higher volume. Now, that being said, we have great chefs at the Fish House. Started with Jim Shirley, who's our original partner. He's written several cookbooks, and now is running a restaurant down in Seaside, Great Southern Cafe. But people are not looking as much for that. Don't get me wrong, of the 1,000 people, several hundred are coming because of the chef. Whereas, you know, I'd say at the chef-driven at Jackson's, 90% are. You've got to be able to deal with a lot of people, you know, internally. You got front of the house people, you got back of the house people, which are the chefs and the line cooks and the dishwashers, and there's a whole realm that creates your team. And you know, and then you've got a customer, and you know, of course, all customers are right, and you've got yeah, and I'm a strong believer of that. If somebody doesn't like their food, I don't care what our chef says. Well, no, it's you know, I cooked it perfect. I don't care. Our customer didn't like it, and we're going to change it for them. You know, how they want it, and you know, the customer will come back. You know, there's a statistic I read a long time ago about you can have the best meal of your life, but if you have bad service and you have a you know, snippy waiter or server, and you know, you're just not going to come back. I'm that way. You got people that, employees and customers that are, you know, being dishonest, whatever they're telling you, but for the most part they're not, and we try to take care of them. You know, I tell, you know, when I've mentioned how many people we do a week, you know, at 10,000 a week, you know, if 1% of those people have a bad experience, that's 100 people out of 10,000, you know, so you've got to, and that's unacceptable. Yeah, typical day, if I'm in town and I try to go by the restaurants, if there's events going on, we have wine dinners, we have beer classes, we have cooking classes. If one of those is going on, I'm here, since I'm so conveniently located to the restaurants within a couple blocks of all of Jackson's, being in the historic district downtown, and Fish House just a couple blocks over on the water. I try to go by, and if I see customers, you know, I want the ones that I know. I love talking to them, especially if I'm standing by the hostess stand and new people come up, you know, and they want to talk, or they're, you know, I don't stalk them down, but, you know, ask them how they hear about us. You know, that's something that's always important to me. We get a lot of referrals from the hotels and, you know, the businesses in town, which we appreciate. So yeah, if I'm around, I like knowing that. We use that for information and how we market. So, you know, typical days, making sure everything's, you know, just everybody's kind of doing what they're supposed to do. I'm not in there bossing people around, but there's just little things that, you know, I think they like seeing the owners around.